So today we're going to talk about the ascendant. Now, who knows what the ascendant is? Comment below. Okay, so Lima said how others see you. Okay, your personality. Okay, it looks like Selena, she knows how you appear in the world. Yes, very good, very good. That is one of the pieces of how what the ascendant means. And then Shakanda said it's how we present ourselves to the world. Everything that you guys said is correct. Now, in this presentation, I'm going to expand your minds to why it's even more important for you to know your ascendant. And as you see here, the question is, what is your lesson? Okay. Now, y'all can ask questions as we go, but I prefer that you just take notes and take it all in, because at the end we can have questions, we can have comments and everything. But if I do say something that triggers you to ask a question, you can do that. And this is what this is about, because this is a classroom. So I don't want you to just sit here and listen to me lecture if you feel compelled to ask a question of any kind, okay? So now we're going to go, make sure I got this right. How do you, this is, okay, what happened to my, okay, there you go. Oh, Lord, I'm about to get scared, y'all. So this is what is the ascendant, okay? And I have here this chart, because I know a lot of people get intimidated by this chart. But as you learn the basics and what I'm going to teach you, this is going to look very simple. Now, there are certain things in this particular chart that is advanced, but I'm only going to teach you the basics. Okay, I'm not going to teach you about how to predict it all. No, I want to help you guys crawl before you go run it. So at least I want you to be comfortable with this chart, because as you see, you have the little symbols and you have the numbers and you have the line. But these are the 4 lines that one must. Oh, you can hear her background. Okay, hold on. Well, it says, okay, so she must have muted it. Okay, she must have muted it. Okay, thank you for letting us know. Okay, so these are the 4 main lines that you want to get accustomed to. Okay, these are the angular lines. These are the 4 most important lines. If you want to know what your lesson is, who you are, it is the ascendant. Okay, if you want to know what you are to give the world, it is the midheaven. If you want to know how you are in a relationship and with others and how you are being seen, it is the descendant. And if you want to know the depths of your soul and what you need for let me use a word, what you need for healing, what you need for nurturing, it is in your nadir, your 4th house. So the ascendant is the 1st house. The midheaven is the 10th house. The descendant is the 7th house. And the nadir is the 4th house. So you have 1st, 4th, 7th, and 10th. Okay, that is in your chart. Everyone has this in their chart. Now, you may not have planets that have those numbers, but this is in your chart. This is in your life. And if you want to know anything about that part of your life, you want to go to these lines right here. Okay, so what is the ascendant? And I'll say in technological, answer, it is when you were born, when you came into existence. It was the sign, whatever sign was in that eastern horizon, you portaled through. That's what the ascendant is. And the ascendant changes constantly. That's why it's one of the most important signs, because it changes on the minute, on the hour. Like, it's changing. Not like the sun and the moon, where it changes in the sign once a month or once a week or every other day. No, the ascendant it's like constant within that day. It's changing. So there's different names for the ascendant. You have the rising sign, you have the first house, but most importantly, what I want you to know about the ascendant is the house of self. Who are you? Why are you here? What is this all about for you? How do you see things? If you really want to know that all that about you, you want to answer that question, you want to go into your ascendant sign, okay? Now, I do have notes here, and it says the most important and the most misunderstood is the ascendant. And we're going to go into why it is the most misunderstood sign and also the most important. Now, in order for you to receive your ascendant and to get your ascendant, you need your exact time of birth. So unfortunately, for those that do not know their time of birth, you will not know your ascendant. Now, there are different things that other astrologers, more advanced astrologers can do, rectification, and some can kind of guess what your ascendant is, but one, the rectification is expensive and it takes a long time, and two, just by the astrologer guessing, it's not accurate. You know, they don't know. So you want to get that time of birth, and without that time of birth, you're not going to know what your ascendant sign is. Now, your ascendant it rules your house system. So whatever ascendant you portal through, it's going to be the thing of your life. Okay? So if you are a Taurus ascendant, then the second house is going to be most likely, depending on the situation, because sometimes you can have a Taurus ascendant and a Taurus second house, okay? But for the standard, it's going to be Taurus ascendant, second house Gemini, third house Cancer, and so forth. So you want to know the order of the zodiac to understand how the house system is set up. So that's why it's important to know the ascendant, because it rules the house. It rules the house system. And the house system is what represents your whole life. So that's why you want to know what the beginning of house of self is going to represent for you, because it dictates everything. Okay, and now the ascendant is also about self-awareness and self-discovery. If you want to know who you truly are, it is in your ascendant sign. Now, we say it's the personality, but no, it is the discovery of who you are. So you want to understand your ascendant to know why you are here and what motivates you. But then it also help you understand, why do I do what I do? Like, why does that bother me? Why does that make me happy? You know, why am I driven by that? That is what the ascendant does. Like, it trumps everything, okay? And then also, when you learn about your ascendant, you will also discover what is freedom. What do you need to do to become free? Okay, because you might be looking at someone with a Virgo ascendant, like, man, like, I want to be like them. I want to do what they're doing. But you have a Cancer ascendant. So there's certain things that you must do to come free within yourself. Because the ascendant also, it restricts you, because you can only see things that the ascendant will allow you to see. So if you're trying to be something that you're not, that's why most of you feel like you're not free, because you're not really expressing yourself and doing the things that you are supposed to be doing. But at the same time, that ascendant doesn't go anywhere. The ascendant is just trying to work around you. So that's the reason why you have resistance in your life, because you're not allowing and fully understanding the motives of your ascendant. Okay, because remember, the ascendant is the house of self. So who are you? Okay, but then also, one of the most misunderstood things about the ascendant is that it is a mask, and it is not a mask. It is your aura. Okay, the ascendant is not something you put on and you take off. It is the essence of who you are. Now, going back to the ascendant, descendant, midheaven, and nadar, the ascendant, if you really want to know the representation of it, the ascendant, the only people that see the ascendant, that can see the ascendant, is your acquaintances. Like, that is what you project to them. Now, with the descendant, who sees that is your intimate relationships, like your like your friends or your lover. Now, the midheaven, that if you want to call it a mask, that character is the world sees that. This is how the world sees you. Now, the nadar is the people that see that are the people that you trust the most, the people that make you feel secure and that accept you no matter what. That is who gets to see this. So you have different faces, okay, but it still have the same motives in mind. Okay, so anybody have any questions? Okay, so far y'all good? All right, so now we're going to go to how do you express yourself? Okay, because that's what the ascendant is all about. It is about expressing yourself, your expression. Okay, and this is the reason why most people are depressed, or they have not found their purpose, because you're not fully expressing yourself. Okay, or you don't understand why you express yourself the way that you do. So it says your ascendant is how you behave without any thought. It is the unconscious mind. So your sun sign, let me break it down. Your sun sign is your conscious mind. It's how you shine. It's what you want to be recognized for. It's your ego. Like, look at me. Look at what I'm doing, you know. But the ascendant is that urge. It's that instinctual response to awareness. Because when you were a baby, you was not conscious. Now, depending on who you ask, they say that we do not come into our conscious mind until we're about the age of 3 to 5. Because then when you come into your conscious mind, you are aware of your environment, and then you are, as the old people say, you smelling yourself. Like, so you smell, so now you trying to do what you want to do and make your choices. But with the ascendant, it's instinctual. You don't think. So when you're in certain situations, you just respond out of that instinctual. Now, the difference between the ascendant and the moon's response is subconscious, but through emotion. Your emotions are triggered. Okay? That's the difference between the moon and the ascendant. The ascendant is a drive. It's self-projected. So there's certain things that you must do to get what you want. So as a baby, you wasn't conscious, but you know that you needed to eat. You know that you needed love or nurturing. You know that you wanted to move and get up and walk. You did it in the way that you did it. And that is driven by your ascendant sign. That doesn't go away. Everything that you do is through the ascendant sign. So if you want to know why you respond in an emotional way, if you want to know why when you're in a situation, you go the F off and you don't know why, even when logic tells you another thing, but your actions say a different thing, it's the ascendant. It's the ascendant that is driving you. So no matter how much logic you know, the ascendant trumps everything. Okay. And then it says it's how you respond to your environment. So for example, you could be, let's look at your environment that you're in. Like, you're looking at something, right? You see two people arguing. You have your own perspective on what is happening in that scenario and how it relates to you and what you would actually do about it. That is the ascendant sign, because you could see someone arguing And then some of you might be like, I'm minding my business. They don't got nothing to do with me. And then some of you might be perturbed, like, why are they even doing that? They have no respect for themselves. And then some of you might be like, you know, I should help them. I should go out there and see if I could be a service to them. That is your ascendant. Your ascendant is telling you how to respond to your atmosphere. Is your ascendant, is it more fire? Do you love chaotic experiences? Do you love being around loud, boisterous people and there's always drama? Or do you need to be secluded? Do you want to stay away from drama? Or do you like to be talking and connecting and communicative and always being around people? Are you a loner and you don't want to be bothered with no one because people drain you? Okay, that is the filter of the ascendant. The ascendant is going to tell you how you should feel in your environment. And so the reason why I'm making this as a point, because just because your ascendant is showing you that does not mean that it's real. Because remember, your programming is, your astrological programming is a program. It's just how you compute the world around you. So sometimes your energies might not serve you in certain situations. So you don't want to be a victim to your life. You want to be in control of your life. You want to have understanding of why things happen for you and not being like, oh, well, this happened. There's nothing I can do about it. I might as well just, give up. But like, nah, this is a part of my DNA. This is part of my character, but I can go above that. Okay, you're not held into the program. You right now, what you're doing, you're learning your program. So it's just like when you get a computer. When you first get the computer, you know nothing about the computer, about technology. But as soon as you start playing with it and understanding and learning, now you know how to use the computer and it's useful for you. So that's how your birth chart is going to be. As you learn, you're going to make it useful for you instead of you just sitting around like, I have no idea how to move a maneuver in my life. That's how a lot of you feel right now. Okay, so I didn't even say the last part. So the last part is your ascendant is your way to ascension. Okay, for you spiritual people, that is what we're all here to do. That is why we look for our purpose. Because we know once we found our purpose and we are in it and we are thriving, we have ascended to higher realms of consciousness. That is the reason why you want to find your purpose, because then you'll know what this is all about. So your purpose and your career is two different things. Your purpose is when you understand why you are here and how to fulfill it. So once you find that, you move in a whole nother way. And then that's how you rise into your life. So no matter what comes your way, it don't matter. You ascend above it because you know your purpose. Okay? You know what you were here to do and you know what this is all about. And I guarantee you, if you trust your ascendant, if you learn your ascendant, it's going to be your guide or what you should be focused on. Okay, so also what the ascendant is here to do, it is here to show you the desires of your soul, because you are infinite, you are energy, and you are a soul. And what is the soul? The soul is the mind. Okay, so the reason why you look the way that you do, the body that you have, is because of the mind. The mind and the soul are the same thing, but the ascendant is what takes shape. So if you want to know, some people say if you want to know what a person looks like, go to their ascendant, because everybody has this look, and their ascendant is what takes shape. But the reason why the ascendant controls the way you look is because the ascendant is connected to the soul and the mind. So whatever you think about, you become. Okay, and so your desires of your soul is why you are here. Now, just because you desire it does not mean it's your purpose. So your desires and your purpose is two different things. And you want to be able to distinguish it, because your desires can permit you from going into your purpose. So you want to know what your desires is. You want to know what it is that you're going after that maybe you shouldn't go after. But then again, maybe it will be conducive for you. So the way you know the desires of your soul, you want to go to any Mars placements, Mars and Aries placements, okay? And any planets with the first house, because the first house is your projection. And the holographic universe, that's the only thing that I know that speaks of this. It says that life is not happening around you. Life is happening through you. You're projecting your life. Okay, you're not the creator of it, you are projecting it. But I see it both ways. I see that you're creating and projecting at the same time. So you want to know what you're projecting, because that ascendant is giving you the projection. You are the observer. The ascendant is the observer of the projection. Okay, so you want to know why you are seeing what you are seeing and what you need to learn from it. Now, like I said, if you want to know the desires of your soul, go to your Mars planet. Go to your Mars planet and get the house and the sign, and it will tell you what is your self-motivations, because the first house is about what? The house of self. So it's all about you. So Mars and Aries go together with the first house. They're all linked to one another. So that's why you want to go to Mars to see, well, what is it about me that I desire? And how am I expressing that? And where in my life am I expressing that self-gratification? Okay. And then you want to go to any planets with the first house, because again, the first house is about self. So your self is connected to the motivations of that planet. So for example, you're a sun in the first house. So you are going, your personality, your persona is going to be bright, it's going to be big, it's going to be expansive. People are going to pay attention to you. You're going to be the center of everything. That's what the sun in the first house is about. Okay. So now we're going to go to the zodiac signs. Okay, let's talk the zodiac signs, because that's, of course, what everybody wants to understand more of. Okay, so how do you handle problems and start things? Okay, this is where the ascendant comes into play. How many of y'all knew that the ascendant was attached to all of this stuff? Press 1 if you knew, or press 2 if you didn't know. Very good. Very good. So you see why knowledge is important, because this is the placement that everyone overlooks. Like, no one really pays attention. But as y'all be in class with me, I'm gonna make everything really important. Like everything I talk about, I'm gonna be like, this is really important. You need to know. but no, for real, this is really important. Like a lot of astrologers say, this is probably the most important piece in your chart. Now, the thing with the ascendant, it's not a planet, it's not a sign, it's not a star, it's not an asteroid, it's a space. That's what it is in your chart. It's a space in time. That's what it is. And you are here to reflect that space. Okay? But it ain't no planet or anything. It's just a space. Okay, in this space, it dictates everything, which I find very interesting. Okay, so how do you handle problems and start things? Now, for just the simplicity of it, right? Like say if you wanted to understand a person and you like, why do they act like that? Because a lot of times we want people to respond the way that we would respond. And this is the reason why I taught you guys in the beginning the 4 components of astrology. Because when you understand the 4 components, you pretty much understand everything, okay? And then you can go into the details, but just get to the surface of it. So just to get to the surface of the ascendant, I wanted to break it down into the elements, because the elements is one of the most important things one should understand, because we say I am everything and everything is me, but as a practical, tangible concept, you are everything and everything is you, because everything is made up of fire, water, air, and earth. Okay, when you look into your planet, it's made up of those 4 elements. When you look at yourself, you're made up of them 4 elements. Down to the morsel of a cell, it has these components to it. So I would say that knowing fire, water, air, and earth is one of the most important things you should know, because it's energy. This is our energy. This is how our energy has manifested. So you want to understand these 4 components to be a deliberate, powerful manifester, because then once you understand the elements, you'll know how to focus your intentions on it and create something for yourself. Because just because you're a Capricorn does not mean you don't have fire in your life. So you want to understand, you might need that fire to make you move. Just because you're a water sign, a Cancer, doesn't mean that you don't need air to really think and connect the minds. It's okay to do with the emotions, but sometimes being able to express and articulate your emotions is just as connecting as you showing them. So when you express yourself verbally as a Cancer, people will really honor your feelings because they understand. But you just expressing them and just being moody, no one, that's left up to perspective. You see? So this is the reason why you want to understand these four elements. Okay. So if you have an ascendant that is a fire sign, which is Sagittarius, Leo, and Aries, the way you handle your problems and the way you start things is very expressive. Like when you're upset, everybody's going to know. You're going to go off. Okay? People need to feel you. Just like when you feel fire, fire destroys. Fire is not subtle. You know, it destroys. Just like a lighter, when you flick it, it pops up. And just like a forest fire, it just once a little bit of fire hits, the whole thing is destroyed. It doesn't stop until it destroys something. That is how a fire ascendant comes off to people. So when you're around a person like that, most likely don't take it personal. It's just how their energy is. And then you express yourself by the things that you see, like seeing and feeling. Like everything's about what you see, everything's about how you feel, and then you're very high spirited. Everything you're just always on 10, and people think that you're going off, but you're not. It's just that you are very expressive with your hands, with your mouth, with the way you look. It's like it's always about that. It's always a big deal. Okay, but you are also ruled by emotion too. It's just that yours is more expressive. Like you got to express it outwardly. People need to know how you feel. They need to see how you feel. Unlike the Cancer is not like it doesn't protrude out like that, like the fire signs do. And so going into water, the way you can know that a person is an ascendant with water, or if any of you have water ascendants, which is Scorpio, it is Cancer, and it is Pisces, you handle problems through your emotions. You're emotional when you're going through something. When you start things, you have to feel it. If you don't feel it, if you're not motivated by your feelings, then you can't do it. Okay? And the way that you handle your problems is that you got to feel your way through it. And then sometimes when you're going through something, you want others to take on the burden and responsibility with you. You feel like, well, why don't you feel the same way that I do? Like, I'm going through this crisis. We should both be going through this crisis. Like, you want everybody to come with you and just wallow in the pain and the feeling, when that's just not the way it goes. Just because you feel it don't mean everybody else feel it. Okay. And like I said, the way you start things is through emotion. If you're really happy about something, you're going to show that the happiness. But if you're sad about it, or you're also going to show that, not as expressive as the fire sign, because they're more upbeat. But with the water sign, it's like, how do I feel about this? So you want to ask a water ascendant at all times, anytime you're talking to them, be like, well, how do you feel about that? When that happened, how did it make you feel? Never go mental with them, because that's not where they live. That will stress them out. Go here with them. Like, how did it make you feel? Because that's what rules them. And then the air sign, how do you handle problems, is you want to talk. Like, you want to talk about your problems. You want to communicate your problems. You want to be around people talking about the problems. Like, that's what you want to be connected to others through communication or some type of information. And you want to be sociable. You cannot stand to be by yourself. When you handle problems, you want everybody to be a part of it. Now, unlike the water sign, they want others to take on the responsibility of their problem. With you, no, you want this to be a group effort, and you want everybody to know, look, I got a problem. Let's talk about it. Like, you're not going to hide away, because you need others' minds to expand your mind. Okay. So a lot of times with water signs, they want to recluse. So with the air sign, no, you want to talk. So if you're dealing with somebody with a water ascendant and you're an air ascendant, there's going to be conflict when there's issues, because the water is going to want to go off and wallow, but then the air ascendant is going to want to talk about it. I don't care that we're not getting along. Let's talk about why we're not getting along. So the air signs is Gemini, Aquarius, and what's the other? You got Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra. Those are the three air signs. Libra, we're talking about ascendant. We're talking about the ascendant signs, that this is how they start things, through communication, through talking, through being social, and how they deal with problems. Okay. And so last but not least is earth signs for the ascendant. And the way they handle problems are very practical. Don't come over here with your emotions. Don't come over here, being high spirited and just being all over the place, and don't come over here, thinking that, I want to talk to you about your problems. Like, deal with it. What are you going to do? If you're going to talk about it, you got to be about it. What's up? And then earth ascendants are business like. When they have a problem, they're thinking of solutions. They're thinking, like, how we're going to deal with this. Okay. And then sometimes they can come off dry and with no emotions, but they like to use a common sense approach. Like, okay, we're going through this. This is happening. What are you supposed to do? Like, don't cry about it. Let's fix it, Jesus. They're like, okay, let's do this. And then the way they start things, they like to have a plan. When any earth ascendant starts something, it needs to be planned, it needs to be logical, it needs to make sense. Okay. And the earth ascendants is Virgo, Capricorn, and Taurus. Now, the way that each one of these signs do what I said, they're all going to do it differently, because they all have their own motives. But at the end of the day, if you want to just be this way about it, this is how you look at it. Okay. Fire is expressive and is emotional. Water is emotional and needy. Air is want to talk and want to connect. And earth is practical and dry. Okay. So anytime you're with these people with these different ascendants, then you're going to be like, oh, so that's why they responded the way that they responded. Now, to go into the detail of it, obviously you can go into your chart and see, well, what type of communication, are they going to do? And that's in the Mercury. What type of communication, how they're going to communicate, their emotion or their conversation. Then you want to go deeper. But for the surface of it, this is what you want to look at. Okay. Oh, somebody said, tell me about it. And someone said, and then Divine B said facts. Okay. So what are you here to become? And let me tell y'all a story. This is what changed my life. Okay. Me learning about astrology, and I will probably always say this. Let me get a drink. Me learning about astrology is what set my soul on fire. Right? Because ever since I came into my birth chart, I always knew that I was a Sagittarius. I always hit the sun signs, but I didn't go no further than that, until I moved to the tropics and joined the tribe. And then they were like, you got to know your birth chart. That's the only reason why I got into what I got into. But now going back and looking at my chart, I understand why I would even join a tribe, because of what I'm here to become. I had to do that to become who I am. So no matter where I am, no matter who I'm with, as long as I stick to this blueprint, I'm going to be straight. I'm always going to be provided for, and then I'm staying focused on my purpose. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who you with, where you at, nothing. And once you know this and become aware of it, focus on it. So once I realized this, it changed the game for me. So if you want to know what you are here to become, you want to look at all of these things right here. So I said the first house is ruled by the sign. The sign is ruled by the planet. Okay? So I have the planet, the sign, the house, and the aspects. Okay. So what I mean by this is that, for example, you have first house in Cancer. Well, the planet that rules Cancer, who knows what planet rules Cancer? Yes, Divine B, the moon rules Cancer. Very good, intrinsic abundance. The moon rules Cancer. So if the house of self is in Cancer, then the moon is here to tell the house of self, who are you? What rules you? So then you go to the moon. Okay, well, how am I going to express myself? By the sign. And where and what am I going to express myself to and about? The house. And then what's going to be my gifts and my talents and my demons and my angels and whatever else I got to work with? The aspects. Okay, so I'm going to give myself as an example. So my first house is Virgo. Okay, so Virgo is ruled by Mercury. Okay, so I'm the planet of Mercury. When you see me, you see Mercury. Okay, and also, which is funny, my 10th house, which is the midheaven, is in Gemini. So I'm straight Mercury. The world sees me as Mercury. Everybody sees me as Mercury. Like my shit is like pretty much the same. So the first house is Virgo. So then Virgo is ruled by Mercury. So Mercury, what Mercury represents is communication, intellect, information, okay, teaching, traveling. So, okay, so how am I going to do that? Go into Mercury and Sagittarius in the 4th house. I'm going to teach and communicate Sagittarius things. So as y'all saw me in my life, I've been living in foreign countries. I've been teaching. I'm teaching now. I'm talking. I'm sharing high-minded, high-frequency thoughts, because Sagittarius is the philosopher. So it's the higher mind. So I'm always telling you guys to go higher, find your purpose, you know, and then where am I going to do that? In the fourth house. And the fourth house represents home, family. I'm going to do the teaching in home with my family. And it's going to be business oriented. Okay, or I'm going to work for my family, or I'm going to talk about family. I'm going to talk about tradition. I'm going to be attached to memories, to things, to concepts, to ideas. I can see things that others may not be able to see, because the fourth house represents the soul. So my soul is connected to my mind, to my intellect. So when I talk, I penetrate y'all's mind and your soul when I talk sometimes. Okay? And so when I realized this and when I did this, it changed everything for me. I said, no matter where I go, I just have to do this. Okay? And that's why you see me and Rambo now, we're at home, what? Teaching, online, talking, helping people. We're doing whatever we can, you know, to stay in our purpose, to help you guys. Okay? And then if you want to know, well, how are you going to do all of that? It's just so much layering, right? My Mercury, this is just some of my aspects. My Mercury square Mars, my Mercury sextile Pluto. This is what's going to help me communicate. Well, if you don't have nothing aspecting the planet, you mean for your ruling sign? I mean, for your ruling for your first house? I'll let her. So my Mercury square Mars, see, I have a square and a sextile. Now, I have more than one aspect for the Mercury, but I just put these two for simplicity. But this lets me know when I speak that there can be challenges. I can go off on people. Y'all see me go off. Like I'm very very direct when I speak sometimes. Like, and sometimes I can be mean, you know, because especially when I'm trying to make a point, I will go off. But then sometimes, and I can be argumentative too, right? Okay. So this right here, I have to be very mindful when I'm talking, because sometimes everything can be a debate. You could just ask me a question, but then I thinking that you challenging me, so I'm gonna go off on you. You know, but that's something that I have to be mindful of, especially in my relationships. And then I have Mercury sextile Pluto, then that means there is an opportunity there. So when I speak, it's transformational. Like when y'all hear my words, I can transform you. I can make you see things in another way. Okay? But then again, sometimes I can go too deep. Not everything requires me to go through your soul to understand you. Sometimes it can be surface. So that's something I have to be mindful of. Okay, so she said, what if you had, Divine B said, what if you have nothing aspecting the planet? For the planet rules. Well, if you don't have anything aspecting your ascendant, that's good. Like it's not, you don't need to have aspects, you know, because the aspects is the addendum, like, you know, the addendum, like this is who you are, but then here the aspect is going to change all of that. And so you really want to have a pure energy. And sometimes the aspects, no, a lot of times the aspects can alter it. So it's okay if you don't have any aspects to any of your planets. But most people have aspects to their planets, but not a lot of people have aspects, you know, for everything. And then Intrinsic Abundance of Love said, what if I don't have a first house in my chart? You do have a first house in your chart. It's your ascendant. You see, your ascendant is your first house. Okay. Now you may not have any planets that don't have first house. Now that is common, but everyone has an ascendant because everybody has the 12 houses. Now you may not have, your house might be empty with planets, but you do have a first house. Okay. Yeah, because I could look at your chart and just show you, like, yeah, there's your first house. So see, that's important. I'm glad that you asked that in transit. Oh yeah, it's Gemini. Yeah, Gemini is your ascendant. That's your first house. So you may not have any planets that are attached to that, but the reason why you want to know about the houses that are attached to your planets is because that is your lessons in karma that you must learn in those houses. Okay, but a lot of people be like, well, if you don't have, if your house is empty, it's not important, and that's just not true. Every house that you have affects you in some way. Now, some of the houses that are connected to your planets, those are your most important houses because they're what's affecting you on a day-to-day basis. Okay, but it does not mean that the empty houses don't affect you. They do affect you. It's just in a different way. Okay, but thank you for asking the question. Okay, so now so what are your lessons? So before I go into what that is, I'm gonna make sure that I didn't forget anything, because I want y'all to understand with the first house, the house itself, you want to know that because you want to know the sign that it's in, and then you want to know the planet that rules that sign. And you want to go there, and that's going to tell you what you're here to do, what you're here to become. Now, your soul's desire, see, purpose and desire is two different things. You want to go to Mars and see what Mars wants for you. Okay. Now, we're about to go into the signs, and you're going to understand why you have the ascendant that you have, because it's the lesson that you are here to learn. Now, what's going to make it challenging is the Mars. Wherever you have Mars in first house placement, it's going to let you know whether or not you've come here to fulfill that lesson, or whether or not it's going to be a challenge for you to fulfill that lesson. Okay, so you want to know your Mars aspects, and then you want to know and ascendant aspects. You want to know your Mars, and any of y'all have ascendant aspects, and then you want to know if you have any planets in the first house, and then that's going to let you know if you're going to come up with some challenges. Okay. Oh, you said okay. Intrinsic abundance said you don't understand. Okay. What do you not understand? Oh, can you repeat the Mars thing? Okay. So let me go back here. So Mars rules the first house. Mars rules Aries. You said only North Node in first house. Okay. Well, that still affects your first house. Mars represents your aggression, your drive, war, what you want to devour, conquer. Okay. Mars wants what it wants. And Mars is in Aries is ruled by Mars, because Aries is the ram. Aries is impatient. Aries wants what it wants. Aries is aggressive. So Mars goes really well in Aries. Now the first house is also ruled by Mars, and the first house is about what? What is the definition of the first house? It's the house of what? The house of self. So the first house is the house of self. So the house of self is about what it wants. It's not concerned about what you want. It's concerned about what it wants and how it's going to get it. Okay? So that is the reason why you want to know what your Mars sign and house is in, because it's going to dictate your purpose. Now, some of you might have Aries ascendant. You might have Aries ascendant, and so that's perfect. But then you want to look at your aspects. But see, if you have Aries ascendant, then you want to go to the Mars again and see what you here to become. So what you here to become is also your desire. It's the same thing. But then what can alter it is the aspects. The aspects can alter that. Oh, okay, Salima says she has Aries ascendant. Yes, so that makes sense, Salima. That's the reason why your life is the way it is because it is about you. You are only focused on yourself. It could be a good thing and it could be a bad thing because you're just not gonna let anyone come into your life. Okay, and so that is very good, but at the same time, you want a relationship. It's all about you, and you're very selective about who you want in your life, but then you want a relationship. And the reason why I know that, besides knowing you personally, your descendant tells me otherwise. And we're going to talk about that because your ascendant is your drive. It's how you want to. It's what drives you. It's how you want to be seen. But your descendant is who you actually are, but you deny. So you want to know both. You want to know the ascendant and you want to know the descendant. Okay, you want to know both of them because they're at odds with each other. But we're not gonna go that far. I don't want to confuse y'all, but we will talk about it. If we can talk about it like after I do this, if y'all want to go more deep. Okay. Oh, she said my Mars is in Virgo. Does that mean I'm driven to be over analytical? I will have to see. It's your desire. Your desire is for perfection. Your desire is for service. Your desire is to heal. You like things to be a certain way. And when they're not, it bothers you. And then it's in the 4th house. So you want to control your home. You want your home to be a certain way. You want to control your family. Okay. So then I'll have to look at more than I had to see your aspects and your ascendant and then the planet that rules your ascendant because you are Gemini ascendant. So then you want to go to your Mercury to see what house and sign your Mercury is in. So you want to know what your Mercury is in. And then you want to know what your Mars is in and how it will conflict that. Mm-hmm. Okay, so y'all telling me all y'all stuff. We hadn't even got to that. I want to tell y'all what it means. Okay, yeah, it is a puzzle. It's a puzzle, right? But once you unlock it and understand it, it's a very fun puzzle. Okay, so now we're gonna go to what are your lessons. Okay, so now because y'all tell me all y'all signs and stuff. Here you go. So this is each sign and your lesson because I wanted to do something different. I didn't want to be like, as an Aries, you're this, and that. And as a Scorpio, you're this. No, I want to be like, as this is your lesson. This is what you must strive to become. Okay, this is what I wanted to do. I want to make it very simple for you, and I want to, because you know who you are. You know how you are. I can sit here and read your chart, but you know you. But I want you to pay attention to you and what you need to learn in this lifetime. So that's why I've said your ascendant is your karma. So in your past life, you were a certain way. You were given certain things in certain positions and you did not honor it, or you took it for granted, or you hurt other people, or you were a good person. And so now your karma is in this lifetime. So karma doesn't necessarily mean negativity. It just means whatever you did, you got to reap the benefits of it. Okay? Because you have a karma and you have a dharma. So the reason and what I'm showing you is your karma and your dharma. Your dharma is the planet that your first house rules. That's your dharma. Now, your soul's desires, that could be a dharma or karma. I don't know. We'll have to go deep. And so whoever wins the reading with me today, I'll be able to show you, I'll be able to go more deep with you to show you what your karma and dharma is, and because then I'll be able to look at the aspects and we can talk about that. So you want to know and understand, what am I here to learn? Because now once you become aware of it, then that would be your focal point as to why situations keep happening to you the way that it does. But it might be a struggle for you, and that's because you're going to have to work for it. It's going to be your challenge. So, for example, as the Aries, you must learn patience and calmness. That's what, as an Aries ascendant. Remember, Aries ascendant. You must be patient. You must learn calm. And if this, y'all, guess what? Guess what I just learned? I learned that each one of these signs, and this is what we're going to go through. This is the puzzle. Each one of these signs are here to show the other what they need to learn. So where do you think the Aries is going to learn patience and calmness from? From the Taurus. Because the Taurus is stubborn. The Taurus don't move. The Taurus is all about pleasure. Okay? So that's how I connected it. I connected it that you're going to learn this from this. You're going to learn this from that. So with the Aries, you want things when you want it. You're only focused on yourself. But you have to understand that sometimes the best things in life are the ones that you wait for. Okay? Wait. It'll come. Prepare. Be calm. You don't have to go off. Okay? They made you mad. Or they didn't do what you wanted them to do. You don't have to go off all the time. No one is trying to fight you. Okay? It is not you against everybody else. So relax. Okay? And this is for my Aries ascendant. Now, this is for any of y'all that's Aries, because I feel like it's the energy itself. But you want to know how that energy is being used. So with the Aries ascendant, this is how you maneuver in life. So this is how you look at things. This is how you respond to people. This is how you react to life. This is how you look at life. You want it now. You think it should be when you want it to be. And you think you're right and everybody else is wrong. A lot of times you are right. But sometimes you just got to be easy. And stop being the one man on the island, okay? You can get along with people. So that's why you just have to be patient and you have to be calm. Now we're going to go into Taurus ascendant. And your lesson in this lifetime, and I thought this was a beautiful one for Taurus, is to create beauty through creativity, making something into form, and being flexible. Where do you think they're going to learn flexibility from? The Gemini. And the reason why this is Taurus lesson is because Taurus likes things. Taurus likes possessions. Taurus likes to have things. Taurus loves to eat delicious food, people, music, pleasure. Like Taurus is about the earth, tangible items. But the thing with Taurus, it needs to understand, like, what are you going to do with all this? You have all of these gifts and talents, but you're just sitting here. What are you going to do? So Taurus must learn, with all its gifts and talents, create something and put it into form. You have so much to offer. In order for you to be of service, create something. Your creativity is unlimited because you're connected to Venus. But the thing with Taurus, they're very possessive. Like, it's mine. Like, no, it's not yours. It's not yours to have. It's yours to share and to show. Show your beautiful things. Share your beautiful things. But don't be a hoarder of your beautiful things. Don't be a hoarder of your relationships, of your people. They don't belong to you. Okay? But then also you must learn to be flexible. You must learn to be open. Stop being so stubborn. Stop thinking you know everything. And you might do, but be open. And the more open you are, the more you will receive. Because what? Taurus likes things. Okay? And so next, next is Gemini ascendant. In Gemini, your lesson is to be consistent, have direction and dedication. And where are you going to learn dedication? From the Cancer, okay? So with the Gemini, the reason why you must learn is because Gemini is about information. You love information. You love knowing things for the sake of knowing. If you want to know something and learn something, go to Gemini. Now, most of the things that they know is not useful. Like, it's not like everyday useful, but then they just like to know, okay? And then they're fickle. You're all over the place. That's because you love variety. That's because you're flexible. You are flexible. But at the same time, the reason why Gemini needs to know dedication is because you're not fixed on anything. You like this and then you like that. And I like this and then I like that. And there's no dedication because you don't want to sit still. You don't want to sit still of the mind and you don't want to sit still of the body. But where is the dedication? There's got to be some type of groundedness with all of this information that you're receiving. If you don't do anything with the information, then what use is it? What's the use of having information that you can't do nothing with? And you're very talented and you have so much to offer the world, but you lack dedication to follow through. Because you see the opportunity in everything. When we say the world is endless possibilities, you follow that. Like, you feel like it's too endless for me just to stick to one thing. But you must stick to one thing to learn mastery, to learn wisdom. Because you're not wise. You're just smart. And wisdom is where mastery comes into place. And that's what you are here to learn. Now, going into dedication, we're going to go to Cancer. And the thing with Cancer that you must learn, the Cancer ascendant must learn, is confidence, dignity, and pride. And Leo is here to show you pride. And the reason why Cancer needs to learn these things is because Cancer is very giving and very loving and nurturing. Okay? But the reason why you lack confidence is because you're so concerned with everyone else that you forget about yourself. You're so concerned about pleasing everyone else that you forget that you need to please yourself. And that you're so dedicated that you just let anyone treat you any type of way. But that's why you got to have dignity and pride. Like, yes, I love you. Yes, I'm dedicated. I'm devoted to you. But I'm devoted to myself first. This isn't healthy. This does not make me feel good. And that's where you got to take your dignity and your pride back. Because if it doesn't feel good to you, if it does not honor who you are, I don't care how dedicated you are or devoted, you come first. Because you cannot give something to anyone that you cannot give yourself. So you're acting like, oh, I'm so giving and loving, but the whole time you depleting yourself. You have nothing to give. It's empty. Your heart is empty. If your heart is not filled with how much you love yourself, your heart is empty when you give it to the world. It's not real. Your intentions aren't right. Okay, so that is why you must have pride. Do not let people treat you any type of way just because you love them. just because you're the mother, you're supposed to take care of them. Nah, a mother also teaches their children to be self-sufficient. Okay, but the thing with Cancer, their confidence stems from being needed. Okay, they'll give up their pride and their dignity if someone gives them security. But the security starts with yourself, because whether that person stay or that go, you still remain. And that is the one thing that will love you more than anybody ever could, is yourself, knowing yourself and loving yourself. Okay, and so then that is what Leo is here to tell you, girl. I love myself. It's all about me. That is what Leo is here to show you. It is all about Leo, okay? But Leo needs to learn to be reserved, modest, and humble. Like, just as everything is not all about you. Just because this person said this, just because that person did that, don't got nothing to do with you. And because Leo is so prideful, its feelings get hurt. It takes everything personal. And like, Leo, if you don't sit down somewhere, think of others, okay? But the thing with Leo is that they're so warm and giving, but they're that way because they expect you to be just as warm and giving. And if you're not, then it means everything about them, and they don't like you, and they'll write you off because you didn't do this. But Leo needs to get over themselves. Like, the world does not evolve around them. Oh, Divine B said my oldest is a Leo rising, and she swears every conversation is about her. Exactly. Because the Leo, it shines. Without the Leo doing anything, its presence is something to pay attention to. But so if you're not paying attention to it, they feel like you don't like them, or you're not appreciating them, or there's something wrong with you. And that's just not the case. And the thing with Leo ascendants, they want to control everything. Like, this is my stage, and you are the part in my play. Like, you are the supporting actor in my life. Like, no, I'm not. No. And so with a Leo ascendant, they want to control their family, they want to control their children, they want to control their relationships, they want to control everything, because everything to them stems from them. But that's not always the case. But the thing with a Leo ascendant is that they're very strong and they can get through anything. But the thing that they must learn is to be reserved and modest and humble. Okay. Oh, you said you are the help. Yeah. Yes. And the way that the Leo can learn humbleness is through the Virgo. The Virgo, what it needs to learn is the world is not perfect. And yes, we have flaws, and you must give others grace, okay? Because the Virgo sees everything that is wrong. The Virgo thinks the world should be perfect. The Virgo can see everything that you need to fix and everything it needs to fix within itself. The Virgo is diligent. The Virgo is a healer, okay? The Virgo wants everything to be pure and right. And anytime it doesn't see that, it's going to analyze it, it's going to pick it apart, and it's going to be critical. And the Virgo does not accept nothing but the best. And if you don't show the Virgo the best, you're going to have to get it wrong. Okay? But the Virgo also is weak, because the Virgo cannot stand to see the world in distraught. So the Virgo will just run off and flee. But the Virgo doesn't understand that's when the world needs it most, when the world is broken. Okay? The Virgo is here to fix it, to heal it. But the Virgo sometimes can be approved. And that's the reason why Virgo must give others grace. You know how we hear in religion, like, God gave me grace. That is what the Virgo needs to do. And the Virgo needs to give people grace. And in order for Virgo to get its point across, it needs to learn charm from the Libra. Okay? You don't have to be bitch stone face. You don't have to, be yeah, I know everything and you need to fix. No, sometimes you can fix things by being nice, by being compassionate, and by giving those grace. And just know that even in this imperfect world, there's nothing that needs to be fixed. Okay. And so next is the Libra ascendant. And so the Libra is here to learn to stand on their own 2 feet, to be independent, and to have desires, okay? Because the Libra is all about relationships. Libras are all about other people. And Libras do not know how to make decisions. Like Libra is the charmer, the diplomat. You know, Libra is very fair. They come off very fair. And Libras are beautiful. They're beautiful people. They love beautiful things. They're beautiful. They take care of themselves. They want to be recognized for their beauty, whether it's in their looks, their music, their creativity. They want you to acknowledge that. But the thing with Libras that they need to learn from Scorpio is that they need to make a choice. They need to have a desire. Like, what do you want? Stop being concerned with what everybody else wants or what your partner wants. What is it that you want? And then go for it. But Libra is afraid to make decisions. Libra's afraid to make a choice because when they make a choice, it throws the balance off because Libra is about the scales. So it just wants things to be in balance. So next we're going to go to Scorpio. Oh, Nick said this is helpful. My partner and my dad both have a Libra ascendant. That's real. Oh yeah, I'm glad this is helping you because that's the thing is that they it's hard for them to really think of themselves. You know, it's always about another, but then it's like you got to be careful with Libra ascendants because they may not be honest. Even though they might say they want to do that, don't necessarily mean that they do. That just means they don't want to make you mad, or they don't want to throw off the balance. So they'll do something even though they don't want to do it. Okay, so next we're going to go to Scorpio. And Scorpio, aw, you got your message private, Nick. So I don't know if you want to make it unprivate. She said, I also felt growing up, my dad was dependent, and I also feel you on what you just said. Oh yeah, your dad is dependent, and one of the things he must learn is to be independent. Okay, that's the thing that he got to learn. Okay, so the next one is Scorpio ascendant, and Scorpio ascendant is okay, girl, me neither. we gonna get this right, y'all. We're gonna get this right because I'm gonna be going live every week. We're gonna have class every week, so we all learn how to to do this together. So Scorpio is the most intense ascendant that one can have. If you have a Scorpio, who has a Scorpio ascendant? Yeah, okay, yeah. So intrinsic, they're very intense and they're very deep. And the thing that they must learn is the gray area, forgiveness, and being lighthearted. That is the thing because a Scorpio only sees the world black and white. It ain't no gray. It's either this or it's that. It cannot be both. And for Scorpio, they must learn that. So for them to be okay with the world, they must come into the gray area, and they need to learn forgiveness because with a Scorpio, they think everybody out here to portray them. They don't trust nobody, but they need to learn to forgive. Okay, and a Scorpio, they're very intense because when they see something they want, they're going to go for it, and they don't care if you said that they can't have it, and you tell them that they can't have something, they're going to go for it even more just to prove you wrong because Scorpio is about possession as well. It's just like Taurus, it wants to possess you too. Okay, but Scorpio does it in a very underlining way. They will manipulate your emotions to have you. See, for Scorpio, it's emotional. It's emotional possession. Okay, and I had that in my life right now. I'm not going to say not that she would watch this, but I have a Scorpio in my life that now I'm learning that they have been controlling me the whole time through my emotions, and they are a big part in my life. They are very important to me in my life, and now that I separated myself from them. She's a Scorpio though. She ain't no Scorpion Ascendant, but it's still the same energy. I can just see both and how they manipulate. Like Scorpions will manipulate you, especially a Scorpion Ascendant. They're very intense people, okay? And they will see right through you. Now, the thing with Scorpio Ascendant, they can look right at you and heal you right there on the spot. Like they have powers because they're so deep. They're so deep. And when I was like researching this about Scorpio ascendants, everybody said that like Scorpio ascendants, they're very deep, and they got a lot of burden on their heart and on their mind. Like even though they have a lot of special powers, they got a lot of burden to go through in this lifetime. Okay, because remember, that's what drives them. The depths of the soul, the human psyche, is what drives them. So they're constantly on that train. Okay, everything ain't that deep, but for them it is. Everything, even down to ordering food, it's complicated. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, that is a perfect word. The new vegan, they were very yes, Scorpion ascendant can be toxic. If they are out of balance and dependent on their aspects, it could be toxic, and they will attract toxicity in their life if they are a Scorpio ascendant. That's just the way it is for them. Now, the thing with Scorpions, they must learn also to be lighthearted because they're too serious. They're too serious. So they must learn from Sagittarius to be lighthearted, to be easy. Life doesn't have to be so intense. Lighten up. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to just be kidding all the time, but just be easy. Laugh at a joke. You know, look at things at the surface. They don't always have to go that deep. Just be easy and lighthearted and have fun sometimes. Laugh for the sake of laughing. That's what Scorpio needs to learn. And then it says Sagittarius ascendant. Sagittarius, you need to tone it down. Sagittarius ascendants need to tone it down. You need to learn restraint, boundaries, and discipline. That is what a Sagittarius needs to learn, because Sagittarius ascendants, you are about the laughter, about having fun, about enjoying life, about being the center of attention. Not necessarily center of attention, but you just, not like the Leo, but you just love to have fun. You think life is about having fun. You want to travel, you want to meet new people. You're very optimistic because you're ruled by Jupiter. So you're very optimistic, and you just see the good in life, and you just want to have a good old time. That's the friend that will go out. They'll overdo it. Like if you go out to eat, they're going to be the one to eat too much. If you go out to drink, they're the ones that are going to drink too much. Like they're going to party too much. You're going to do too much sometimes. Okay, so you need to calm it down, and that's what Capricorn. Oh shoot! What the fuck? Y'all, there is these mongooses out here, and they're fighting. Oh my god, they look like ferrets, and I've never seen them this close to me before. But I never seen like two of them. Scared the crap out of me. So with a Sagittarius, because you're always looking to the future and expanding your horizons, and and you're here to show the world, to go beyond what you don't see, and believe that you can have anything, and and just be that motivation and inspiration to the world. But tone it down. Okay? Like, I know you like to party, but you don't gotta party and to be the last one there, and then the person gotta kick you out. Like, it's sometimes it's like that for the Sagittarius ascendant. Like, you do too much, and sometimes you can be a little immature. As you know, children, they don't have no filter at all. Hold on, let me get some. I feel like Sagittarius is like a child sometimes, where they have no filter. They just say whatever they want. And that's how a child is. That's why I say immature, because sometimes you have to be mindful, and sometimes Sagittarius do not care because you're only looking at it the way you want to look at it, even though how you look at it is very expansive, but it's still like, here I'm expansive here, but it's just how I see it. This is what I believe in, and you don't take other people in consideration. And so then this is where it comes in the Capricorn, because the Capricorn is going to teach you to have boundaries with your life, and then also to be disciplined in what you want to do, with your life too. And then, because the Capricorn, what it needs to learn is to be connecting and sociable. Okay, because the Capricorn is about responsibility, it's about work, it's about their reputation. Capricorn is the one to make sure that the world, in our community, in our society, is running properly. We need structure, we need order. Things need to be done at a timely rate. Things need to be done correctly. And Capricorn is the leader. So it's like, I'm leading, I'm the one in charge, I'm the one that knows how to do everything. Everyone listens to me. Everybody get in line, get in order. You know what I mean? But the thing with Capricorn is that because they're so rigid, they lack connection. They forget they have blood flowing through their veins and that they're human. You don't have to be a robot. So the thing that Capricorn needs to learn, even through your leadership, you must be connecting. Okay? You want to be sociable. You don't want to be the leader that everybody's afraid of or nobody don't like. You want to be the leader that everyone loves and want to support you. And that's the thing that Capricorn needs to learn, is that you need people to lead. It's not just about you and your capabilities. It's the people that you want to move. But you don't want to move them with your mind or with your words. You want to move them with your heart. Because then when they get your heart, that's when they feel connected with you, and they see your vision, and they will follow you wherever, because they feel you. But with a Capricorn, they don't want nobody to feel them. Capricorn is like, I don't got no feelings, and Capricorns, they are a little self-conscious because they care about what people think of them. They care about what people think of them so much that they hide from people. That's how much they care about people, what people think of them. But the thing that Capricorn needs to learn to be effective in their job and to be useful in the world, they need to connect to humanity and be able to socialize. And who is best to show them that is Aquarius. Aquarius is the next sign. Aquarius Ascendant. And Aquarius, what they need to learn is to conforming and selflessness, okay? Because Aquarius is about to be social. Aquarius loves humanity, but they hate people. Now that's one of the main quotes going around. Like, Aquarians are the humanitarians. They like the idea of the human race, but they don't like humans. Because that means it's personal. And Aquarians are detached. Aquarians ascendants are detached. Like, they could be your friend, they could kick it up with you, but it's always here. It's never no emotional bond with them, because everything is in the mind. Everything is mental. They're always on a high mental plane. And then Aquarians like to be different. Even though they want to be a part of something, they still want to set themselves apart and be different. Because Aquarius and Leo, they are polarities. Leo is about me. Aquarius is about we. Okay? But but the we, I'm still me, like in that we, like I'm not, it's not no merging. So that's the reason why Aquarius, to be effective, Aquarius needs to learn how to conform with another and stop trying to rebel, because any movement you're going to have towards humanitarian causes is for us to come together. Okay. And that's the thing that Aquarians, kind of contradict itself about, because it's like you want to help the world, but you don't want to be a part of it. Okay. And sometimes Aquarius, they like that they're so weird and they're so unique and they're so different and abstract, but then you're only thinking about yourself. Like, how is this going to help others? Like, I get it that that's how you are and you're so special and unique, but what's that got to do with us? Like, you know what I mean? And then with Aquarians, they don't think about that. They only think about themselves, a part of the whole. Like, they could never like just be single out like Leo, because Leo can shine, because Leo rules the sun. It's ruled by the sun. But Aquarians, they want that, but they still want to be a part of something. But they need to learn to really be effective. You must truly be a part and be present in your movement or the group of people that you identify with. Okay. And the reason for that is because Aquarius don't like emotions. They don't like showing emotions, and to be human is to feel. And that's the thing that Aquarians don't like. They don't want to feel, because they can't make logical sense of emotions. Well, you're not supposed to make logical sense of emotions, because emotions aren't logical. Okay. They're emotions. They're feelings. They're subjective. They're creativity. They're flow. They're fluid. And Aquarius doesn't like that. Aquarius is like, no, that I can't do nothing with that. That's not grounded enough for me. They rather talk about it, and then they don't even want to talk about their emotions. They want to talk about, why do we have emotions, instead of like, no, why do you have emotions and why you feel that way? Aquarius Ascendant is like, no, that's not me. Okay, so Aquarius, be more conforming and think of others sometimes. And then last but not least is Pisces. And Pisces is what they need to learn, and who they're going to learn it from. They're going to learn it from Aries. They need to be more persevering, and they need to learn how to have courage. That is your lesson in this life. Okay. Somebody calling. But the reason why Pisces needs to learn perseverance and courage, because Pisces is very weak. When I say that Pisces Ascendant is weak, Pisces is the all. Pisces is spirit. Pisces is energy. If you want to know what a person, what energy looks like, go to a Pisces. Because Pisces represents the subconscious mind. Pisces, that's the reason why Aquarius learns conforming to Pisces, because Pisces is about the oneness. Pisces wants to connect with you and emerge with you. But the thing with a Pisces Ascendant, that people will project what they think of you, or what they think of themselves on you. So if a person feels like sad or just feel depleted, then they'll look at you as a sad, depleted person. So Pisces has no identity. And I shouldn't say that Pisces is weak. Pisces can be weak though, but Pisces has no identity unless the identity that you give it. Pisces doesn't know who it is unless you tell that it is that. So that's why Pisces must learn courage and persevere and push through to learn itself, because the thing with Pisces, they want to escape. And that's the reason why Pisces energy is connected to alcohol and drugs, because they don't want to deal with reality. The Pisces is the fish that goes in two different directions, reality and spirituality. And so Pisces is constantly trying to ground itself, and it's the water sign, and it's the fish, and it's trying to ground itself, and it can't. So that's why Pisces is just like, ooh, Oh, you think I'm this? Okay, I'll be this. Oh, you don't think I'm that? Okay, I'll be that. Because Pisces don't know. And so Pisces needs to have the courage to just push through and not let people take advantage of them, because Pisces is very trusting. Pisces is very, very trusting, and the only reason why they're trusting is because they don't want to hurt your feelings. It's not because Pisces is better or Pisces is so good. This is where Pisces is weak, because Pisces does not want to hurt your feelings. So that's why Pisces is so giving. And I call Pisces the sacrificial lamb, because Lord forbid you are inconvenienced. So let me inconvenience myself and do whatever you want me to do. Okay? But then because that's not real, Pisces will recluse and go off, because he can't deal with the burdens of the world. But there is no burdens of the world except for the burdens you put on yourself. No one does nothing to you. You have to learn how to have your own boundaries as well. But unfortunately with Pisces is just open. Pisces is like, what boundaries? Like, no, we're all one. Why should I have a boundary? We're all one. But Pisces, if you don't have boundaries, people are going to walk all over you. And then also you're going to absorb the people around you. So that's why Pisces ascendant have to be very careful, because the people around you can control you and tell you you are something that you're not, and you will become it. Okay, so that's why you must have the courage to say no. You must have the courage to speak up. Okay, and without that, you see what happens with your life. Okay, all right. So, questions and comments.